the reason we need to know who we are is because we are trying to understand why we are.
Right.
And what am I here to do? What is my purpose? And when we understand why we are, the who doesn't matter anymore. It really drops away. As I will be right now what I need to be for whatever purpose needs to unfold out of me and flow through me at this moment.
Let's talk DXB. Real conversations by real people. Rima.
Hello.
Oh, it's so good to see you again.
It's amazing to see you. I've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting. Yeah.
I have been, kind of witnessing a little bit of your journey, which is amazing. Technology allows us to do that.
Yes.
And I just love your work. It's got such a gentleness as well, and a realness that I felt that this was the right place, and I was so excited to be here.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's definitely it's as you know, it's been a journey, but I really wanted to put authenticity around conversations to educate the community and myself selfishly. So having you in the studio today, it's very special.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I felt the same about you and that beautiful event that you did in Circle.
Yes.
It was so amazing. And it was just so beautiful to see. There was mostly women and women that were just kind of, you could see the power and the power and the gentleness. Yeah. And I love to see that. I love to see women have really grounded their power and feel really, so that femininity, and that talk was amazing.
Oh,
we had such a good time.
It was so powerful. It was lovely. Well, we're going to have a great conversation as well. So before we go into it, because I definitely want to touch on feminine energy, self-love. That's a journey I've been on for about 3, coming to 4 years. But let me learn a bit more about you, Rima. How did you get into what you're doing now? Yeah, tell me a bit more.
So that's the question I get a lot. And I can't really answer that. I think we follow different breadcrumbs in our life, so different paths, and then the interest that we have kind of is unfolding and is still unfolding in my life. So I can't tell you. I think it's part of our soul's blueprint and our mission, right?
Yeah.
So I know that as a teenager, so I was born and raised here.
Okay.
And as a teenager, the first place where I felt that I really belonged and I was seen was when I discovered philosophy.
Okay.
And philosophy for me was that just mind-blowing sense of, yes, that's what justice and truth and love and humanity and all of that I wasn't finding in my upbringing or in my home or at school. So it really kind of was the stamp on, okay, so what I know to be true in my body is true. So I followed that for quite a while, and I studied that in university in Canada and fell in love with the depth of philosophy. And then I went and did my own research in science and psychology, etc. So that's always been the realm where I've swam in.
Yes.
As a kid, I used to talk about the ego and soul, and all the kids were interested in the Backstreet Boys, and I wasn't. I was like Plato
Deep Rima.
and Socrates, and I had all the quotes in my room, etc. Now I look back and I think my parents were probably. I'm nothing like my parents in many ways, so they were, and I didn't like that growing up. But now I can kind of understand for a parent, and they probably didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah,
especially
as you're so in tuned with like your passion quite early on. Yeah, and it's different, right? It's quite a different approach.
Yeah, and I was always much more interested in the inner being. So I could see the levels. And I have an essay from when I was 11 years old where I wrote about the ego and the soul and how maybe from seeing my parents argue, and I was like, that it's their egos are doing that, but what I don't understand is they're just one and they're the same in one another, etc. So I was writing about all that because I could see kind of that. I've always seen that the form was one thing, but it wasn't what was the energy. The energy that was in all creation was the same, and feeding all of it. And so I've always been on a mission to. I say I have the natural dream, and the natural dream means the dream of what nature has designed, and for us to go back to what nature has designed, which is the oneness, and how every single atom or ant or shark or human has a specific purpose and is always perfectly placed at the right time and is exactly where they need to be, and they have a purpose, right? The only difference with humans is we have access to consciousness where we need to understand things, and we need to know what our purpose is. Everything we do is we're seeking, what is the meaning of me? What is my identity? So identity is, we're the only species that seeks identity. You know, a lion doesn't know he's a lion. But he's a lion.
He's a lion.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
The need to know, I
to
think,
know.
as well. Yeah. And it just never stops. It can be quite loud, actually, without just kind of accepting this is me and I'm in my purpose and the journey.
Correct. I think because when you think about it, so in this body, there's a soul, and this soul is connected to the all, to the everything, right? So it's infinitely powerful, infinitely knowledgeable, infinitely everything. And we're in this limited body. It's mortifying to be the all and be so constricted. And in this duality that we exist in, we've got the ego self, so the construct of who I am. And then we also have a knowing, right, that we are not that. No matter what. Doesn't matter how many times you try and affirm your identity. And we do it on a daily basis. On a daily basis, this is, my name is this, and this is what I do. And it's almost like we're trying to convince ourselves. We're trying to re-imprint it, because if I say it a billion times, then I will believe it at some point. And there's something behind that knows that I'm much more than that. I don't fit in anything because I am the everything, and I can be anything. I'm not just this. And I was speaking to a friend about commitment issues, and somebody was saying, oh my God, I have such commitment issues. And commitment issues is really unconsciously, we have that knowledge that we are so much that it is hard to do, to say, I'm going to do just this without me knowing the clauses of what if I change and I don't, what if I discover more of the other things that I am and I can't fit in this anymore? How do I get out? Is there a refund policy? Is there how do I get out?
Get out of jail card.
Right. Get out of jail card. How does it work? But and this is whether it's committing to a career or committing to anything really. So the reason we need to know who we are is because we are trying to understand why we are.
Right.
And what am I here to do? What is my purpose? And when we understand why we are, the who doesn't matter anymore. It really drops away. As I will be right now what I need to be for whatever purpose needs to unfold out of me and flow through me at this moment. So it doesn't really, that I'm not attached to Rima. That is a name that I was given. I like it. It's cute. It's nice. It's not who I am, just the same way I have a name, I have a hand, I have a house. I am none of them, right? I have them, but I am none of them. And
that perspective, you literally just like, my whole energy's been like, whoo, because we're so tied to what is my title? What title am I trying to achieve? How am I going to grow here? There's a lot of noise around kind of what am I doing on this earth and how can I tick the boxes, I guess.
Correct.
But rather than just being, I'm here, I'm in this now. And I completely get that. So I definitely want to touch on discovering ourselves and self-love and, just being in purpose and actually accepting where we are in life. So I've been on a self-love journey for, I'd say about 3 years. My divorce definitely forced me to, go down that route and really discover kind of what is my purpose and how do I unapologetically live in that purpose as well. And I'm loving it, and it's still a journey and I still battle with it as well. And I know you talk a lot about self-love, but before, what does self-love mean to you? And then we'll go into like how we can find it, I guess.
So self-love's got two words, right? It's got self and it's got love. So love is in action. It is in action. So how am I loving is, same thing as relationship. Relationship is not a thing, it's relating to. The minute we make something a static thing, we're killing it. It has no life anymore in it, right? And then we struggle a little bit with it because it's an object. So the love is in action. So it's a continuous thing. It's what my life force is meant to be doing in life. And how do I love the self? First, I need to identify which self am I identifying with. Right? So if I'm loving the self that I have constructed, the ego self, which is a self-protective mechanism, that is what the ego self is, the separateness, is me here separate from you and the whole world and all these people that are around us. So in that context, all I'm doing, if I were to love that self, is to feed that ego what it needs to feel okay. And that is a path to self-destruction, which is great for the soul work. And that's usually how people end up back on the path of soul, because they feed that ego self so much that they self-destroy. Is they will go and get all the achievements, all the cars, all the watches, all the whatever they think is going to feed that self to make it safe, and it's all falling empty. And at some point, that's when they come and see us, and they're like, okay, I have it all. Why am I miserable? I have everything and more. Why am I depressed?
So true.
So self-love is the healthy format of self-love is when I understand that, first of all, the first thing I need to do is honor the fact that me being alive is absolutely a standby of approval by creation, that my worth comes by creation because I'm alive. Wow. I am alive means I have purpose. I am alive means I have purpose. It means something greater than me said I must be alive because I have something to do.
Love.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing is understanding the responsibility of that.
Yeah.
That is a huge responsibility.
Yes.
I am now responsible for this life. I am now responsible for this life means I cannot now put that on somebody else.
Yes.
And whatever I don't do is on me.
Yeah.
And I take full responsibility for it.
That's a weight.
That is a weight. So this is a weight. So most human beings go about their life energetically as if they were still children at home. So we're still looking for mommy and daddy everywhere. Yeah. Why? Because the child is not responsible for themselves. Okay. That is the only stage in life, in this existence as a human being, where the responsibility of yourself is not on you.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So if you mess up, mommy and daddy are going to clean it up.
Yep.
If, whatever you don't do to yourself, they're going to force you to eat your vegetables.
Yep.
They're going to force you to be healthy or whatever. But it's all on them. And then you can blame them. If you're overweight, you can blame them. You're like, you're feeding me too much.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't do nothing.
It was my fault. I didn't have the choice.
My mom was feeding the hell out of me. So then at some point, we gotta mature. And I still believe that the hardest thing that any human being will do is the day that they will turn their back, which is what we do in family constellations. Okay. And instead of facing our family system, which is our mother and our father, is we finally turn towards life, and we have our mother here and we have our father here. And we're saying, I'm now responsible for my life fully, which means now I'm responsible for maturing emotionally, mentally, relationally, and take all accountability for everything that happens in my life without blaming it on anybody else. But at that stage, a lot of people go out and they're like, I need to find new mommy and daddy. Yeah. Unconsciously, they don't know it. So the path of dating is a huge path of that. It's like, you saved me. No, you saved me. Yeah. No, I came to you because I wanted you to save me. What do you mean? I wanted you to save me. It's like, who saves who? And then we do that with work as well. So a lot of women unconsciously have moved the energy of the father energy, which is a protector and provider, to their job. And that's why they stay stuck in careers for the longest time. They're like, I hate my job, but I'm still here, and I've been complaining about it for 15 years, but I can't leave because that energy is if I leave it, I feel unsafe in the world, because that's the father energy represented in my job.
And the security around it. Yes, correct. Got it.
So once we understand that it's all energetics that are at play all the time, we start looking at our friends in a different way. I give this exercise to some of my clients, and I say, go home and think about the closest people to you. And what energy do they represent? What do they represent for you? It's like, well, this one is grounding and, like the solid. Oh, that's the masculine energy. Oh my God, she's my best friend. But she brings and it's like, I never realized this one is the nurturing. And I go to her when I feel like I just want to cry out and vent and whatever. She's the best at telling me I'll be okay and I'm fine and I'm perfect. And that's a mother energy. So we kind of, we do that all around in our life. Oh so self-love means I claim that back. Wow. I claim back all of that. So this life, there's no life outside of me, and nothing has meaning other than the meaning that I put to it. So life itself, the physical world that we have built, has no meaning.
Yeah.
We put meaning on it. The only life I'm experiencing is here.
Wow.
I cannot feel here.
Yeah.
I cannot feel the table.
Yeah.
I can only feel here what I feel about the table.
Wow.
Right? So the only life I experience is this life force here. And when I am listening to this life, when I'm listening to what my heart desires, when I'm listening to what my heart is, attracted to, intrigued by, etc., I'm able to now provide for it. So that's the feminine energy, the heart.
Yes.
This is the masculine energy, take action to do, provide, and protect. So when I'm able to listen to this, I can now guide my masculine energy to provide for it. My heart says, I want this life, and I want to experience this, and I want to do this, and this is what makes me happy. And my masculine creates it for me. That is the job of. Then we have a beautiful couple here, which is in love. And that is what self-love is that love which is meant to be within myself. I can feel it. It is flowing. The life force is flowing, as opposed to it being disconnected, which we have a lot of, which is this is, completely dominating and this one is completely numbed out, or the other way around. And then we have a life which feels uncomfortable. And we usually say, well, I don't feel love. What is I don't feel love? I don't feel love in myself. In myself, I don't feel love. Why is it that I don't feel love in myself? Because I have a conflict.
Yes.
They're either not talking to each other for the past 2 decades,
Yeah.
or one is bashing the other.
Yes.
And whenever I have a client that sits down, I see everything from this lens, which is the masculine and the feminine energies are the engine of creation on a big scale.
Yeah.
And in the internal scale, because everything is scalable.
Yeah.
To the tiny bit, which is what's happening here, it's going to happen between me and a person. It's going to happen in the universe between, what's happening with Mother Earth and the things we're building and what.
True.
So it's all on a scale. So whenever I have a client that sits in front of me, I'm trying to understand what's the dynamic inside. Where's this and where's this?
Yes.
Where's he? Where's she? And how are they talking to each other? How are they relating to one another?
Wow.
How are they loving or not loving one another? So we either have a internal matriarchy or we either have an internal patriarchy.
Yes.
And that's how I like to see it. So the internal matriarchy is usually when the feminine is overpowering the masculine.
Okay.
And usually what we have is somebody that feels stuck. So that's one of the words you're going to use. Like,
Okay.
I feel stuck in my life. There's not much movement, scarcity. I'm not able to, have stability financially. I don't feel safe.
Right.
So it's the feminine that doesn't have a strong masculine. So it's
Right.
the feminine that is dreamy. She has so many dreams and visions, and every day she has a new idea of what she wants to do. That matriarchy can happen in a man or a woman.
Okay.
So those are completely, it doesn't matter what
doesn't
the
matter.
person is. It's just that dynamic can happen either in a man or a woman. And usually that person has, one day they have money, the next day they don't,
Yeah.
because they're not planning. There's no structure.
Yes.
The masculine is not there to structure. And what that person will usually speak of as well is low self-esteem. So low self-worth is a masculine challenge. It is not a feminine challenge. The feminine itself, herself, is it's like nature. There's no she is radiant and beautiful in all of her chaos and all of her shedding of leaves and all her storms and her everything.
Fully
right?
embracing everything. Yes.
So when a person comes to me and says, I don't feel that, I know their masculine's being beaten up by the heart.
Right.
The heart's like, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good
Wow.
enough. So the masculine is just like, okay, I'm shut down. I'm shut down. And the masculine, when he is celebrated, acknowledged, appreciated. He can move mountains.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a man that says, if you trust me, and I will move mountains for you. But if you keep criticizing me, I'm just going to sit there and pout and be like, okay, well, I guess I'm a loser. What do you want me to do? Or you could have the opposite, which is the patriarchy. Patriarchy is very common, which is very common. Our whole world at the moment is mainly in patriarchy. Yes. And we are returning back to the heart, but we're mainly in patriarchy, which means it's a mind-led world.
Yeah, heavily.
And we see a lot of people that only trust what is coming from here and reason, etc. And the heart is completely neglected. She is neglected. So it's as if you were looking at a couple at home and you saw her. She's spoken so much, she screamed so much, and now she's just numb. She just doesn't speak anymore. And usually in patriarchy, you'll sit with people who'll say, I have everything, I achieve everything, I'm able to have security, I have a great home, I have the cars, I have whatever, but I don't feel anything. I can't feel. I don't feel life. She is life. She needs to feel. So it's like, how am I not feeling life? Well, because everything you have done is not what she wants. is not what your heart wants. You have done all the things that you thought were necessary, but it is not what she is saying is necessary for her or what she needs, which is your guidance in the world and what you need to create for yourself. So once we balance that out, that relationship is we are looking to reestablish the flow of love. The flow of love has been restricted somewhere. So we're trying to reestablish the flow of love so that couple can look at each other and smile and give each other what they need, nourish each other so that they can create a life that is in alignment. In alignment. And then our life unfolds and it makes sense and it feels good and it is happening. It is materializing in the right way that we are fulfilled and we can feel that fulfillment.
Rima, I'm like, you're talking to me because we said this before the cameras went on. I'm getting better, but very much in my mind. Practical in my masculine because I'm doing a lot by myself, trying to, build legacy, just all these things. Probably chasing more materialistic things, blocking my heart intentions, my desire, because it doesn't make sense on the outside world. And there's all the reasons you can tell yourself. How does someone, because I feel like I've got female friends, I feel like a lot of female friends, even if they're in relationships, not whatever their dynamic is, are very much in their masculine energy and blocking out what the heart desires and not allowing themselves to even dream or explore that side. Correct. How do we work around that? I'm talking, how do I work around that?
Correct. I love that. And it's so true. But the polarity has been reversed at the moment. We can all feel it. And that's why we're all
Massively,
suffering.
Yes.
We're all suffering. Men and women are fighting each other because we are fighting each other right here within.
Yes.
Right? So whatever's happening here is happening outside of us. And what we're doing when we're in people that are dating or marrying or etc., what they're doing is they're trying to correct this relationship through another.
Got it.
Right, so we can only find more love for ourselves through another. So that's what we're doing. So through you, I'm trying to love myself more and find more love within myself through you, and that person is doing the same. If you both agree on that, which is
that's another
something
thing
you need to do in the beginning, and say, "This is what I'm here to do. This is what we're doing together. You committed or not?"
Yeah, can we have these frank conversations?
These are super important because a lot of it's like a lot of people are like, "What happened? I was dating this guy, disappeared." Oh, this woman is like, it's like, well, you need to have that conversation at the beginning. Is this what I'm looking for? This is what I want to do. This is how it's going to be. It's not going to be easy.
Yes.
Do you want to sign up for this or not? And if somebody's like, no, I'm just looking for a good time to numb this out, the same way I would, reach out for a bottle of alcohol or whatever. Yeah. It's like, I'm not for you right now. Go do that. There's somebody else who can do it.
That would save a lot of people.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I'm hearing a lot of stories. I'm like, why have you not said this from the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of women are in their masculine energy, right? Because we are taking on a lot of the roles which are not ours.
Right.
So we had absentee fathers for most of our generation. I'm speaking of people in the 30s, 40s. Absentee fathers meaning, even if they were there physically, emotionally they weren't there, which means they were not accessible for us emotionally. Correct. So we had to, provide for ourselves emotionally, mentally. And that's such a huge provision. When we say provider, doesn't mean just provide, the house and the food. That means provide for me emotionally. Can you be there and be comforting and, and behold that space for me? So we had to learn a lot of these things, right? And women now are having to do a lot of the jobs, which is I'm providing, I'm protecting. So I can't really be here because I'm doing this all the time.
I don't have space or time.
Correct.
It's something I always tell myself.
And a lot of the men are on the other side because we don't need, because they are receiving the message that they're not invited by the feminine, that the feminine doesn't need them, so the women don't need them. They're like, okay, so we're useless, I guess, so we're just going to play. Right? We're going to play. We're going to hang out. Sure. So they're just there, and in a lot of their resentment. So women and men are feeling a lot of resentment for one another.
At the moment, isn't there?
We can't do anything out there. We've got to do it here. We got to do it here, which means I need to make space for her and him within me in the way that I would want to imagine the relationship that I would want to be in. Nice. So I do this exercise where I take those projections, where I take her and put her here on a chair cushion, whatever you want, and him on a chair cushion couch, and have them have it and give it to each other. It's like, have a conflict. What do you want to say? You hate him. Yeah, great. What else?
Wow.
Why'd you hate him? Because he ignored you for the past week. You've just been working and, and you didn't care about you, and you're not feeling seen, and you're not, women will go through this. It's like, I don't feel pretty, and I don't feel this. I'm going through a phase where I'm not feeling myself.
Yeah.
It's like, because my he has not seen me. My he hasn't given me the space to see me.
Yes.
I haven't felt my feminine energy. I haven't danced. I haven't sang. I haven't felt held. I haven't expressed. I haven't. So in all that space, they can have that conversation, just like a couple would have a conversation, have that conflict, and then give each other what they need, what they need. And then doing that, what happens is I start having a couple that feels good with one another, as opposed to the distance between them. Now they're coming closer to one another, saying, okay, I do want to make you happy. I do want to be there for you. I do want, and I would like you to appreciate the things that I'm doing. So the feminine needs to appreciate the masculine. So a lot of these women that I sit with or clients are just like, but I'm like, what was the last time you celebrated what you did?
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean? I didn't do anything. I'm doing my best. I'm a mess. It's hard. It's this, it's that. I'm like, but that's exactly what your masculine is asking for. Every day he's getting up and he's taking you to the gym.
Up. Yep.
And even though you don't want to.
Yep.
He's taking you to the gym because he's like, I care so much about you, baby. I want you to feel good. I want you to be healthy and live long. So I'm going to book this for you, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go work hard and do the things I don't want to do. So sometimes I just need to put you here and say, listen, right now I need to do this thing. But it's for you that I'm providing. It's for you that I'm creating this safety. And once she starts seeing that and seeing, I understand all the things that you're doing for me. That's a conversation that we have within. It's like, I appreciate that and I like that. So I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I really am proud of you, honey, my masculine, for taking care of me, for getting me out of situations, for speaking up for me last night when, they said something I didn't like. And you took me out of that conversation. He's the action.
Wow.
He's for putting my boundaries and honoring them, for providing for me, for making sure I'm safe. And that's our masculine that's doing this for us. It's like when you speak of women that have, gone through divorce, etc., these are huge things and they're not easy things to go through. That's your masculine that took the action, that made the plan, that did all those things for you, and said, I've got you. I've got you. It's not working out with him. Come here, honey. I've got you, and I'll take care of you. And in that phase of I'm trying to do my best for us, honey, I ask for a little patience. I'm doing my best, but it doesn't mean that I'm not looking at you or seeing you. Yeah. So once you start having that conversation, you understand that sometimes in life we'll have those phases where it's like, okay, I'm dealing with a crisis right now. I need the masculine energy needs to be. I can't be right now. Oh, I know my whole company is crumbling. I'm just gonna go to the beach. It's not, it's not time to go to the beach. But and it's like I'm doing all of this so you can play. So you can. I'm creating this safety so that you can play. What is safety for? Because a lot of people are saying, I'm trying to secure myself. I'm in survival. I'm trying to secure myself. And then I say, and when you get to that safety, whichever safety it is, the number that you want to put on it, whether it's house, whether it's whatever is going to make you feel safe. When you get it, what is it for?
So true.
Do we get to that part? Because we have to get to that part.
There,
It's like, what is it for? What is it going to do for you to have that safety? Well, I haven't thought about that yet.
And that's true.
And that's so important. And it's like, I want to have the safety so that I can live. Because now I'm in survival.
Yes.
I'm in survival. In survival, I do what I need to do. That's the masculine. That's what he's really good at. So that I can live. Right? So, and as long as we are aware of that, we don't elongate it. Otherwise we can get lost in the complete pursuit of, now I wanted 50 million, now I need 10 billion, and then now I'm a 155-year-old and I regret my life. So it's like, what's the number? Because masculine energy is all mathematics, numbers, and logic, and clean, and a plan. So you can sit down. I have my clients go home, and I'm like, you're going to make a plan. This is going to be the plan. This is how much I need for me to feel safe. This is what are the things that I need, and how I can sustain them for the next, let's say, 10 years. How can I do that? Come with a plan so that when you have it, we start putting the steps in place for it so that you wake up in the morning without that anxiety. And now I am working towards that. So I'm on plan, so I'm good. And I can work from a place of, peace. Because I know I'm walking towards it. So I'm creating safety while still enjoying life. Because I don't know my numbers of days,
That's another thing. Do you know, Rima, the amount of even the inward conversations, because a lot of people are having these externally, right? He physically, he in the relationship, or she, my sister. It's never like the internal conversations. And I love how that journey was all about internally.
It's all internal. There's nothing happening outside of us. There's no life outside of us. And this is really something that's mind-boggling, because I think when you say that to people, they say, "What do you mean? I've always said my life, and I did that, but I didn't do this. This is my life, not this. This is not life. This is a reality that we are, what we call the Maya. So the Buddha calls it the Maya. You can call it the Matrix, whatever you want. It's a projection. It's a hologram of this life. We are sitting here, me and you, Sharon, we're going to leave. We had different experiences and we noticed different things, you know, and we always have that with everybody we leave, because I can only experience this life. I can't experience this life. I can't experience anything other than this life here. So anything that's happening is happening here. What's happening with my partner is happening here. What's happening in my company is happening here.
So true.
And in understanding that, now I change the lens completely.
Massively.
Completely. So, you know, whatever is happening here in terms of your masculine and feminine, the dynamic that they have is exactly to a T who you're going to be with in a relationship. To a T. 100%, because you are attracting that so you can course correct here. So if you look at it this way, you take a man or a woman. Let's say we take a man and we put him in a room with 100 attractive women. 100 attractive women. All of them are attractive. So, you know, there would be nobody that would say, okay, this, you know, she's not, or 100 attractive women. And yet there would be a pull to that one single woman there at that moment. Because it's only energy playing with energy. That is it. And we've all experienced that moment where we are in a moment and I like to call it, I've been sent a soul. I've been sent a soul. And I have soul business with that person. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but I have soul business with that person. And it's that moment where we know that person is coming here because they're the polar of my energy, and we're coming to do some balancing of energies together, right? Of course, as humans, we have the free will, which means I can say, no, I'm too scared. I don't want to do that. It's not fun. I don't like that. Or they can do the same, right? Or we'll write it for a couple of weeks or a month, and maybe for 10 years. And there are soul business contracts that we have with people that last forever. And those are, you know, like the people that are closest to you, your sisters, etc., and that you meet in the world, your tribe. And it's your constant work with one another, constant work as we evolve with one another. They're life companions, our soul companions for life. So it's only energy with energy. We have to fight the overriding of the mind. We have to say, I'm not seeing with my eyes. I am not seeing with my senses. I am not hearing language, because language is really just symbols. Language is symbols, right? For what the unspoken. We have put words to the unspoken. That's what language is, the words, etc. Titles, all of these kind of things. So once I really override that, and I start looking at everybody as energy, everything as energy. What is my company to me? You know, I was doing that with my chocolate company recently, because I'm doing some changes, etc. And I was looking at that, and I was having some uncomfortable emotions towards it. And I was thinking, what is it representing to me right now? Oh, it's that oppressive box pulling me back. And I understood what it was. I was like, oh, patriarchy. Again.
Wow.
Oh, damn. Yeah. And I was like, okay, how do I now navigate that and work with it, etc., etc. So once you understand that everything is literally energy working within different forms, within all the forms that we have, then you understand that I'm only playing with energy and I'm only showing up as energy. And that's and the work is there. So once I work here and I understand what it's doing for me, everything else changes. When we speak of different realities, you know, there's so much knowledge out there now. And I think we're getting past the time of data collection. I think people now have so much data here about so much consciousness and what it is, and traumas and healing. And I see, you know, it's so funny, because whenever I sit with a new client, they come with this, you know, a lot of them, they come with they're just regurgitating the damn, you
Google.
Google, Instagram, whatever. It's like, because I have this trauma of, the attachment styles when I have this. And I just listen, and I just think it's phenomenal because it's all here.
Yes.
Nothing is dropped here.
So true. It's still in the head. It's the
all
noise
here.
in the head.
And I just look at it and I'm like, you are getting nowhere close your soul or your spirituality in any way through the mind. You cannot, because it is only in the heart that it is, and once we start embodying a lot of those things. So the data collection is there now, and we're overwhelmed by it.
Yes, massively.
And now we are shifting and we are dropping back into our hearts, and we're all seeking the hearts again. And a life that feels naturally good. Naturally good. The angst that women feel in their masculine it's because it's not natural.
Thank you.
I don't feel natural.
Thank you.
Men are the same thing. They're like, it doesn't feel natural.
Yes,
I want to feel my natural masculinity.
So true.
And there's so many messages out there telling men, you need to do this and you need to do that and you have to be. And it's not, we're selling them vulnerability. And I don't think that that's going to go very far.
Yeah, true.
Because vulnerability. So a man's job is to protect and provide.
Mm-hmm.
How great is a protector when he's feeling vulnerable? Do you know what I mean? It's
he doesn't have what he needs. Yes,
it makes no sense. So it's not about asking men to be vulnerable. It's asking men to be authentically open real.
So true.
Right? So it's like a man that says, I'm feeling this fear, but I have a reason that is stronger than my fear for me to stand up to it. That is what the feminine is looking for. She's saying, show me that you are afraid, but that you are stepping to your fear.
Yes.
And that the courage is there to do it.
Yes.
Women are looking, or the feminine energy looks for her to trust in his ability and his strength, to understand that he is human, that he also has feminine and masculine, that he has a heart, that his heart is integrated, but that he has the strength to contain his emotions, to understand them, to process them, and to step up. That is what the feminine wants to know. Is, I know you go through all the emotions, honey. Honey, I'm an oracle. I see them.
I see them.
You can't hide your shame. You can't hide your fears. You can't hide them from any woman. We smell it. We feel it. It's there. It's not about you, feeling shame in it. It's in you saying, I felt this way about this, and this is what I'm going to do about it. So a lot of times we say, a lot of women say, and I think this is very truthful, is find a man who has surrendered to a greater power than himself. Find a man of God, whatever God is to you.
So true.
And that is 100%, because if a man is not serving something greater than himself, he is serving himself. And if he is serving himself, which self is he serving? The ego.
The ego.
Because the greater than himself is his soul, which is his heart speaking to him, right? So he has found source, God, whatever you want to call it, and he is serving that, which means he's working in truth. He's working in love, he is working in justice, and that is what he stands up for.
The values.
And the woman is not saying, come and worship me. She is saying, worship God that I worship too. Worship God, let's worship God together in our own way, right? So she's saying, I need to see that you will stand up for justice all around. Which means then you will honor me too. And you will honor all the women, all the men, all the children of this planet, right? So... and that is where we find that consistency. Other women say, I want to see consistency. Why is he nice to her or him or me and not to them?
Not that,
Ooh, I picked that up. Of course we're going to pick that up, because we're seeing who is that man serving.
So true.
Who is that man serving?
So
is he
true.
serving that? Right. So the greatest challenge for men is to surrender to something greater than themselves. In other words, is a king needs to be surrendered to his kingdom. So he doesn't surrender to the outside, but he surrenders to his kingdom. He doesn't serve himself. If he's serving himself, he's a tyrant. He's taking from his people.
Wow.
But to serve his people, he must be attuned to his people. He must come and say, what do you need? What are your problems? How can I be of help? How can I serve you? How can I make this kingdom flourish and be more abundant and more loving and greater and more strong and protected? Right? But for me to know all of that, I need to collect data from you. The kingdom is the woman.
Yeah.
We have also the analogy of the gardener. So I like to say that a man who is integrated is a man who is a gardener and a warrior. So the warrior is this part, and the gardener is this part. So he comes every day and he waters his garden, which is his feminine, right? So he will water her. He will make sure to trim. He will make sure, whatever is needed, vitamins in the soil, whatever needs to be done, it's all there. Everything's taken care of. And he's the warrior when needed, which means he will make sure nobody's attacking this damn gardener.
Yes.
Nobody's coming to take from this garden, that this garden is safe and protected and he has the ability to fight whatever wolves are coming to destroy or whatever, right? So a man needs to be mostly a gardener.
Yeah.
We're in 2025, we're not living in the woods with, bears coming in. And so when a man is saying, I protect, I'm like, I don't need the muscle.
No.
We're not looking for the muscle so much. I can see it and I appreciate it. And but it's that ability to be able to stand up no matter what.
Yes.
But mostly on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be gardening. And gardening is the greatest job on this planet.
Yeah.
It is the greatest job on this planet. It is literally, I am watering the tree that is giving me the apples.
Wow.
And I can only get apples from this tree if I water it, right? If I just take the apples and I'm not watering, it's going to die, the tree. It's going to dry up. And when it dries up, I'm going to be like, oh, this tree is bad. I'm just going to go to the next garden, which is what a lot of men do who are not integrated, who haven't understood what their mission is and what their purpose is.
Yeah. You've saved so many women and men out there, actually, because the relationship conversation, this could go on forever. And the dating and I hear so many stories around it. I'm not in it yet, but the wisdom that you've provided. So women that are looking to find their life partner and purpose, they think about things quite differently. But first of all, they do the inner work.
Yeah.
There's so much inner work that's needed.
The inner work that's needed is really bringing, so step one is really bringing self-awareness to what's happening inside. It's no longer avoiding it, which is what we like to do. The mind likes to do that, which is like, okay, I'm no longer avoiding it. And if that takes me sitting in front of a mirror, and I prescribe this to some of my clients, which is sit in front of a mirror. You're going to sit just you by yourself in front of a mirror.
Wow.
Dim the light so you're not distracted by other things. If you can switch it off and have some candles, just sit there and really address this marriage that's happening inside of you. So that's the first work. But relational work can only be done in relationships. So we it's not go fix yourself and make yourself all perfect and then come out there and you're perfect. No, because we have blind spots, and our blind spots are in our relational dynamics. So in relationship now, the goal is for me to take accountability for whatever dynamic is here and to rectify it as much as possible. So to find that love again within me here. And in relationship now, that's going to bring up a lot of other things in me. My resistance, some traumas, some this. But if I have done that love work within myself, I have love, which means whatever is triggered here.
Right.
I face it with love. It's like, it's bringing that stuff in me, and how do I have compassion for it, and how do I have love for it, as opposed to, you're bad, you brought out this in me, I'm going to run this way. And I'm going to run this way because I'm scared. If you bring up anything in me that I haven't looked at myself first, I'm going to run and blame you. Period. That is it. And most men have less experience in dealing with their emotions, which means they don't deal a lot with their emotions. And that happens a lot in relationships. Their emotions are brought up and triggered, and they end up blaming the woman and running that way. And that's why we say a lot of men come back. Yes, because once they've run, and then they got tired. Even horses drop. Even the horses drop at some point, and then they come back. They're like, okay, I've looked at it. Like, anyway, how you doing?
We're not going to address when I ran away. But
it's like that's just. But I figured it out. But you, how you doing?
No conversation.
No conversation. It's like, so I saw that, you cut your hair. It's great.
You look great.
Yeah.
What just happened? So,
So
true.
But us women, we're in it in the moment. So we react in the moment a lot of the time. And an integrated woman usually has learned to master the not reacting in the time, because she's built this one here. He's strong and he's saying, baby, I feel you. I know it doesn't feel good, but let's do this in a structured, functional way so that something beautiful is created out of this, as opposed to some chaotic.
Correct. The
so
wisdom in that is so important.
It's so important. It's like getting triggered is fine, but it's how do I pause? Pause is the greatest thing. It's like, how do I pause? Feel the emotion, feel the energy moving through my body right now, understand what it is pointing to, and then express it when I'm ready to express it in a loving way, so that it is received on the other side. Because that's our responsibility, really. That is.
Oh my goodness, we could go on for the notes. I'm like, when I'm ready to go into a relationship, the wisdom I have just from this is amazing. And I love how you mentioned, actually, because there was I always said, be the person that you want today. I am a big believer of like, I want to feel healthy and whole. And I want to operate in purpose. At least let me know why I'm waking up in the morning. Why has God put me here? What am I doing? But removing the materialistic side of it, I think that's a big thing. But then to find someone else that equally has the same values, has the ability to surrender to the God that I believe in. I think that's so important. So I know those foundations, but there's a whole nother thing around it as well.
So the surrender for men is quite different than for women. So women, we are in touch with the essence and the spiritual world so much more.
Yeah.
And throughout history, women always have. They're the priestesses, they're the oracles, they're I know the thing that I know because I know it, I can't explain it, but trust me, I just know.
Yep.
And we've always been much more in touch with nature, the elements, etc. So we have that knowing, which is heart wisdom, right? Men are more here, and both are beautiful, both are necessary, and they need each other in a great way. So for women to surrender to a greater force than themselves is already embedded in us, because we already come as in this reality, in this physical reality. A man is stronger than me no matter what. Period. He is. I could be speaking my heart out and speaking all the truth and wisdom in the world. In one punch, I'm on the floor. Right? So we know that. So we've already understood that, and we have no problem, submitting, being submissive to. Yeah. So we do submit to God, and because we know it better, and because we have no problem with it. The masculine needs to feel strong. Right. So he's like, submitting, surrender. When you say to a man, surrender, what do you mean?
Surrender to who?
To who? The enemy? I will never surrender to the enemy. So, and what they're not understanding is surrender is where you find your greatest power. Because in surrendering, what is meant is surrender your ego, your separation. Yeah. Now you are operating alone, like a lone wolf in the world, fending for yourself, and life feels like a war zone. And that's a lot of men.
That's a lot.
It's like life's hard. It's a war. I have to fight everybody.
Battle and
competition. And I gotta slay dragons, and it's by myself. Can't trust anybody. Yeah. I'm always on edge. I'm like, I'm sure you have blood pressure.
Stress levels are high.
Everything is, all health is, because the body is in dis-ease. So many disease is there. No ease is there. So a lot of men are in that. And what they haven't understood is, once I surrender my ego, I'm no longer a drop of water fending for myself. I become the wave within the ocean of the all. I am so much more powerful because I come with an army, which is infinite army. And in that infinite army, I am the reason why I do things, the purpose, makes me able to do any hardship and any hard thing, because my why is so strong. Yeah. And the only ways to face fears, to kill dragons, is when your why is stronger than the fear itself or what it is that you're facing. And you see that in history, for example, the hunger strike of Gandhi. Yeah. It's like a little man. He's like this tiny little man.
How did he do it?
Tiny little man, and starved himself for it because his why is strong. When a man has a strong why, he can bear anything. He can bear anything. But your ego will never be good enough. Why? Your ego cars will never be good enough. Why? Validation will never be good enough. Why? And men have to do it again and again and again and again and again and again for them to completely surrender. And they get to that surrender. So you'll meet people, and you'll meet these men, and you'll know exactly where they're at. And it's not your job to fix and be mommy and be like, oh my God, I love it. It's my job. Yay, I've got to. No, it's not your job. Let that man be, girl.
Let them get to their own place. Let them
where he is. Yes. He's not even hearing what you're saying. Exactly. I know you think he hears it because he says yes. It's not going in the right place. So, it's like, meet him, understand where he's at, and believe where he's at.
Yeah, and believe where he's at. Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
And honor it. Honor it. Because you cannot say that you honor source God creation if you question it.
Yeah.
And by you interfering, you are saying, I know better than what God wants for him right now.
I can fix you more than, yeah, exactly.
God wants him right there, that person exactly like that right now.
Yep.
I do not know better than God. I do not know better than creation.
So true.
So I'm not interfering.
And it's that individual's journey to
And
then
that's
get to.
Yes,
yeah.
correct. And that's the feminine energy.
I love.
The feminine energy lays back.
Yeah.
And she says, I can see where you're at. I can feel the aches in my body that just wants you to like, I just want to, help. And I see your heart and I want to, but I have to stay here. I cannot leave my temple. I only stay in my temple. And what is meant for me comes. And when it comes, it takes off its shoes at the door. It doesn't dirty the temple. It doesn't come in anger. It doesn't come. It comes in devotion because now it has surrendered and understood why he is here. He has understood why he's here. And he's coming looking at you saying, what can I do? Are we doing this creation thing together? Are we serving together? So, and that is the hardest thing for women. We got to just
trust and believe. Do you know this conversation? And I say this, and obviously I was married for a long time. I'm not in the whole dating because I'm like, you're doing too much. You are, you're inserting too much. You're forcing too much. You're doubting too much. Like just all of this confusion and like turmoil that you're creating over this thing. Let it be.
Let it be.
And they're like, oh, you don't understand. But it's so much like that, though. Because obviously, if you're creating this whole kind of confusion or trying to insert something that's maybe not supposed to be at this particular time, it creates so much heartache as well. I think,
And the masculine receives it as disrespect.
Yes.
Masculine speaks of respect a lot. I want respect.
Yeah.
I want respect. And respect is very important for the masculine. And I don't think most women understand what they mean by respect.
Yes.
Respect means when you look at me, I want you to see my strength and my power and that I am admirable.
Yes.
That you admire something in me. And when you say to him, I want to fix this and this and that, he's getting it as you're not respecting who I am today and that I'm smaller or dysfunctional or broken.
There's something wrong with me,
and etc. And it's like, that's the last thing I want to feel.
Yeah.
So it is very important and it's a very big challenge for women. So the challenge for women is to trust and the challenge for men is to surrender their ego. Ooh. And once we're able to do that, we meet each other.
Yeah.
And we have to trust. Woman has to trust that she sits there and if the sky needs to rain, it will rain. It will give it what the gardener will give it what it needs to be given, right? And to sit in that. Yeah.
Oh, Rima, thank you so much for this wisdom. Honestly, I am absorbing it. I'm going to watch this episode like 20 times because I'm on my own journey as well. But that amount of wisdom, I think, saves so many people. But I think I go back to that inner work first because like you said, a lot of people seek others. You will fix me, you have to be my savior. And we forget to do this before anything.
It's not we forget, we avoid it because God Almighty, it is
it's
not.
hard.
I'd rather, it's that we want to outsource everything.
It's hard,
We want to outsource it unconsciously. And it never shows at the beginning. You always hear at the beginning it was like this. And then what happened? And it's because we are still in that I don't want to grow up and take responsibility for me. It would be so much easier if somebody just saves me from this life, which is hard. And that's the reality of life. Life is complex in many ways, and it is challenging, and it keeps challenging us to expand. And in terms of when we come from childhood where we had, most of our problems solved, most of things taken care of.
Didn't have to think.
Correct. And it's like, now I have to do all that by myself. It's so scary. Someone help me, save me. And it's unconscious. And then we unconsciously meet each other really, kind of like, help me. And that's what we call daddy issues, mommy issues. I don't like to get into all that because it's like everybody got daddy and mommy issues.
There's always something, right?
Every child didn't get enough of something.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And every child's got their own package of tribulations and what they didn't get enough of and what they wanted more of and who was there and who wasn't there and whatever, right? And there's no soul that comes on earth without the ability to deal with it. Life does not create unless it has the right environment for it. Yep. So if you grew up in this family, as you can grow in this environment, just like this mushroom that grew up in this field only grew there because it can live in that environment. So that's very important. That's how nature works. So I am not at the wrong place I'm in the right place. If I change my lens to that, I can start seeing the blessings in that and what it's giving me. And it's giving me the skills that I now have to apply in whatever my mission is. So how do we uncover a lot of our purpose and the meaning of why we're here is when we start really looking at what do I have in terms of skills, in terms of what am I good at, what comes naturally to me, what feels right, where's my curiosity pulling me, where does my curiosity keep pulling me no matter how much I avoid and go this way, keeps pulling me this way. And listening to that and not saying, but that's not a purpose. Because a lot of, I sit with people sometimes say, but is that a purpose? And I'm like, what is a purpose?
Yeah.
What is a purpose? Only you know.
Yes.
There are as many purposes as there are life forms.
Yes.
So there are infinite number of purposes. It's not a list of, I'm at this, I'm at this. Those are titles that we made here. Get the hell out of that.
Yes.
That is so limited. This is 10% of like what it could be. So yours is very niche and unique to you. What you're here to do is very niche and unique to you.
Love it. And you feel it.
Yes,
you feel it.
100%.
Like you said, you could be dragged it. You feel it.
You
yeah,
feel it.
I know. Yeah.
Your soul is like,
don't ignore me. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And you start experiencing unconditional love, the unconditional love that is life. That life force, because it really supports you unconditionally. If you say, I'm going to go and run there for 6 months because I don't want to do this, like, okay, you're going to go and run there for 6 months because you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And you're going to do that. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. This wasn't it. I'm ready to come back. It's like, okay, now you're done. It wasn't it. You're ready to come back.
And you'll find your way eventually,
and it's
hopefully.
supportive in every way. If you say life is hard and it's a war and I have to survive and everybody's against me, it's like, okay, life is hard. It's everybody's against you and you got to survive. Whatever you say, it supports you.
Oh, we're going to end there. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I knew this was going to be a beautiful, easy conversation. Selfish for me because I'm like, I'm going to learn so much from Rima.
Selfish for me. I've enjoyed this so much. Your energy is incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. You're just radiance.
It's because I'm doing what I love and I'm doing it in purpose. So I feel like I'm very grateful for today because it's definitely filled me a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful for you in this conversation. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's Talk DXB. Real conversations by real people.